Hello there, Evie here. First off, major apologies. This video is supposed to be about the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. Unfortunately, I've done most of the recording for that, but I'm at a point where the system is unstable and trying to do anything like render is pointless. Any editing at all, it would be pointless. Unfortunately, we're hitting stability issues with basic desktop load up stuff, so loading desktop up produces a pile of lag, and then the audio goes crackly, which never used to happen before. I mean, we're running off an SSD, it should be pretty fast. We also have issues trying to boot up. Half the time when it tries to boot up, the VGA LED post light just lights up and nothing happens, and then just clicking the power button will turn it off, which is basically what happens when the system won't post and you need to restart it. So it's not like a hold down and shut down, it's just a click and shut down. So there are problems obvious there. That sometimes gets fixed by wiggling the cable in the back of the HDMI cable in the back of the monitor. Then half the time it doesn't. I'm not sure if that makes a difference because sometimes I don't do that and it boots up anyway. So that's where those are a couple of problems so far. Also problems, anything with audio becomes an issue and anything with graphics becomes an issue. So doing things like recording audio, I noticed were becoming issues before when doing the video for this. Crackliness and playback crackle was an issue, but actually the recording was not bad, it was just the playback which was an issue. So audio playback is a problem. Also problems are in games. Any game, the lag is horrendous. We're looking at like 10 frames a second, and from a GTX 1070 on water, that's horrendous. There are also audio problems there throughout. So we've got quite a lot of issues to sort out, and hopefully they'll be solved by one fix. Not sure what the problem exactly is yet, and the title of the video will probably explain what that is. I don't know as of yet. This is Saturday. I'm supposed to be getting a video uploaded by the end of Monday, and that was because this took longer, so it set the upload time back by a day. So if we're okay and if we get stuff done properly and efficiently, we'll be up on Monday, but if not, we won't be. And then we'll be putting the delay of the Hyper 212 Evo cooler review back by another week potentially, and then the Corsair Carbide Air 240 video, micro ATX case, that'll be back by another week. And yeah, so huge apologies for that. I can't really do much about it. So, things we've done to try and fix it up to this point. I've stopped myself from fixing it to do this video on there because I realised that even if I fix it today, I won't get the video for this done by Monday, and that'll just kill the channel and its ability to make videos and get views and stuff like that based on algorithms of YouTube. So, fixes so far. I've completely refreshed Windows and reinstalled all the programs that I've done. Skip that, you don't need to see that sort of stuff. So that's a completely new installation of Windows, and we're still getting the problems. I've also updated the BIOS on the motherboard. It was an old motherboard. It's been sitting on the shelf for about a year or so, so that's potentially old by motherboard standards, but not that old. But I did a BIOS reinstall or upload or update to the latest one, and that has basically not changed anything. It's still performing the same way it was before. Things we're going to try now is drain this system and take out the PCI Express cable that is connecting, or the PCI Express riser or extender that is connecting the GPU in this orientation to the motherboard. We'll remove that. We're going to need to drain the system and rechange or replace the length of this bit of tubing there, so it will extend it so it can slot in that manner. This one should be fine. We'll do that using the drain port, so if you're doing any water cooling, drain port is always good. This one's on show because it's a test bench and you can't really hide it, but generally I try and hide them. If you want to check out any videos, by the way, top right hand corner if you're new to this channel. So yeah, we're going to replace that. If that doesn't work, we're going to lie that down on the side, and then we're going to replace it with the air-cooled card that we use, the R9390X. That is a known good component. It's not a very good component, but it's a known good with this system, which has worked before. I've actually tried it with this motherboard as well during the setup for this, which has been rejigged since the build in this case, which you can check out in the top right hand corner. But yeah, so those are the issues that we've had, and those are the things we've tried so far, and that's what we're going to try and do now. So thank you for coming along for the ride. Thank you for sticking with the channel if you're still here and supporting the channel as you do. So really appreciate that. I'll check you in a second for some sort of commentary with the recording of what I'm going to be doing, and hopefully we'll have this uploaded for Monday. It is Saturday as of the time of this recording, so if we're quick, we'll have it done by then. All edited, recorded, audio, all that sort of stuff by the end of Monday, hopefully. I'll catch you in a second for some commentary, and thanks for sticking around for the video. I'll see you then. So a quick run through of the issues we're having. Half the time the system will light up the VGA LED post light and nothing would happen. The other half of the time I would somehow be able to get it to post by wiggling the HDMI cable in the back of the monitor. Just to clarify, I turn the monitor off and on again, but that doesn't usually change the outcome. And this process is difficult to tell whether it helps or not. And this is the result of trying to play a game. And yes, the sound you're hearing is what is happening, and the lag is real. We're talking 1.03 seconds between the key press and the jump. So it's an ugly situation that needs fixing, so let's give it a shot. Of course, before working on any system, turning off the computer is advised, but even this took much longer than it should have. The shutdown took 53 seconds, and that's between clicking the shutdown and the CPU fan losing power. On to trying the removal of the PCI Express extender cable. This is a great example of why having a vertical reservoir and having the drain port at the lowest point of the system is so much better than any other water-cooled loop layout. Draining is so fast, and you'll see later that filling is just as quick. I've skipped past swapping the fittings on the GPU tubing, but it was just a case of adding plugs to the ends of all the connectors. To get the GPU out was slightly tight, but not really an issue. Unfortunately, the whole PCI Express slot panel needed removing for the 2-slot bracket to be installed, but the lower panel will remain in place unless we need to remove it at a later time. So with the large PCI Express panel out and the 2-slot panel in, the PCI Express extender cable can now be removed and the graphics card can be replaced. I decided to leave out the reconnecting of the loop since that isn't the focus of the video, but I always think the refilling process is always nice to look at. With the radiator being mostly full, it only took a couple of fills of the reservoir before we were back in action. It's worth noting that this process is far quicker and more viable with a soft tubing loop over a hardline loop. It's at this point that I forgot to turn the mic back on, so I'll briefly go over what I was talking about. So with the system filled back up and the GPU in a horizontal position connected directly to the motherboard, let's see how the system responds. Well, this is a good sign. It wasn't working instantly like that before. Let's quickly log in and load up Steam and the same game we were playing before to see if anything has changed. The load time of the game, like the boot time, has seemed to dramatically improve as well. Let's see what it's like to play and how it sounds. It's so much smoother now, exactly what you'd expect from this system. Let's retry the jump test again and see what the response time is like now. We're looking at a 0.06 second response time now. I think we can safely say we're back up to speed. But for a bit of fun, let's take a quick look at the comparison between the before and after response times. And of course, we can't rule out that this one result was a fluke, so we need to restart the system and try again. But it wasn't a fluke. The system is stably running games now, and what you can probably tell by the upload date, the software I use to edit and render these videos is also working too. So what is it about that PCI Express extender that was causing those issues? Well, by removing the bottom GPU support panel from the chassis, the extender support bracket from the GPU support bracket, and the extender support bracket from the PCI extender, we can take a good look at the extender cable itself. Now I can't find anything inherently wrong with these connectors, so I'm going to skip past this footage quickly, but this is a 60 frames per second video, so if you want to take a closer look, you can slow down the footage with the YouTube video playback tools and take a better look if you want to. Let me know if you spot anything. But for all I know, there's an issue with the cable itself, but a friend who works in networking said it would be unlikely that it's the cable that is damaged, since most cables can be twisted and crumpled up long before failure. So it turns out it was the PCI Express extender cable that was causing all the issue, that was the culprit between all the issues. So I was thinking it was going to be between the motherboard or the GPU. It actually turns out this is right between the motherboard and the GPU, but I was thinking it was going to be either the motherboard or the GPU due to the audio issues, which could potentially be down to the motherboard, or the GPU issues obviously causing some of the graphics issues we've seen. I was especially completely surprised, to be honest, that it was this, considering I thought it was something to do with Windows. The boot was terrible and that sort of stuff. I really didn't realise that that was so strongly affected by the GPU. I was thinking it was more CPU oriented. So yeah, I found this extremely educational. I hope you did as well. If you liked the video, please give it a like. But if you disliked it and think I could have done something better to represent these issues, then please let me know and give a dislike, or just let me know. I don't think a dislike would be too appropriate for that. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. Next video will be the CPU cooler review of the Hyper 212 Evo, and then coming that, the Corsair Carbide 240 Air, or Air 240 case, and then we've got plenty of CPU coolers to do. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you in one of those hopefully. Bye bye.